want to visit the lands of the Bible from the comfort of your home? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Breakforth Journeys podcast, where we take you right to the very places where the stories of the Bible took place. Be encouraged, be inspired, fall in love with the Bible all over again. Now, here is your host, Arlen Salty.
Hey everyone, I'm Arlen Salty, and I want to thank you so much for joining me for a very first episode of Breakforth Journeys, spiritual journeys to the lands of the Bible. I'll be releasing regular episodes from our spiritual journeys into the lands of the Bible. These messages have been recorded right on site during our trips to the lands of the Bible. We'll be bringing you messages right from Israel, Jordan, Turkey, Greece, and beyond. At times, I'll be co-hosting with my wife, Elsa, as we share in these journeys together. Each episode will bring you right to the places where prophets, priests, kings, apostles, and of course, our Messiah, Jesus, walked. As the message unfolds, you'll hear the very living sounds of the actual environment around our speaker, and you'll be transported to the very place and time. Our main teacher will be the renowned author, scholar, teacher, and pastor, Reverend Hans Wibrod from Sweden. You'll love his vast knowledge, his scholarship, his engaging delivery, and above all, his warm pastoral heart. We'll also have other special guests along the way who actually live in the lands we visit. You will not want to miss those episodes. We also want to share a Holy Land travel tip each and every episode, so if you're planning to take a tour to the lands of the Bible, you'll be better prepared. We'll be covering such essential tips as food, weather, money, tips, culture, customs, travel, choosing a tour, and so much more. We want to be your very best resource to help you have the spiritual experience of a lifetime. Each and every episode, we want to take you on a virtual spiritual journey of a lifetime. You won't even need to deal with jet lag. We'll take you there right through your headphones or through your computer speakers. If that sounds good to you, please keep listening. I'd like to share just a little bit more about what to expect, as well as a bit about your hosts, Elsa Salty and myself, Arlen Salty. Each episode will start with a short description about the setting, where we're at, where the message takes place. We'll paint word pictures, but we'll also post photos of the places if you go to our website. Then, we'll jump right into the message. It will take you deeper into the Scriptures and inspire you to greater trust in the God of the Scriptures. You'll hear about real life struggles of the people of the Bible and how they learn to overcome them or to rest in the truth of God. I believe you will see your own life in the lives of so many of the saints, and when we share about Jesus, our Messiah, you'll be overwhelmed with his love for you. We'll close each message with a practical application for your life, all from the foundation of God's grace and love. Now that I've told you a little bit about the show, I'd like to share with you why we're launching this podcast. You see, for years now, Hans, Elsa, and I have been bringing believers to the lands of the Bible. In fact, combined, we've brought thousands of people. We have seen lives changed as they have in effect walked the pages of the Bible. The Scriptures have come alive to our fellow guests. They've returned home with a greater understanding and love for the Word. And most importantly, they have experienced a renewed passion to take the blessings they've been given and in turn bless their family, their friends, their church, their community, and their world. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? To take what we've been given and blessed with and to share it with others. Okay, so why a podcast? Well, first of all, it's free. I like free. You can't beat the price. But it's also on demand, meaning that you can listen to it whenever you want. If you're driving to work, open up your smartphone and listen on in. If you're working out, stick in your earbuds and listen on in. If you want a change of pace in your morning devotions, load it up and you're transported to the pools of Bethesda in Jerusalem, or Mars Hill in Athens, or King Herod's Palace in Jordan, or Ephesus in Turkey, and so many other places of the Bible. You can also subscribe to our podcast so that each and every time we release a new episode, it will automatically pop up on your smartphone or tablet. Hans, Elsa, and I also realize that for some people, they'll never be able to journey to the lands of the Bible due to some limitation, whether it's financial or time or physical limitations. But why should that stop them from experiencing the riches of visiting the Holy Lands? Well, there's nothing like actually being there, and if you possibly can make it, you should. We want to invite the world along, even if they don't have a passport or a flight ticket. Perhaps you've already been to one or more of the lands of the Bible, and you want a refresher. Well, this podcast is for you. Perhaps you're planning a trip sometime in the future, and you want to be better prepared. Well, again, this podcast is for you. You see, each and every episode, that's what we want to do. We want to bring you along on a spiritual journey of a lifetime from the comfort of your own home, your car, or wherever else in the world you may be. Okay, so now that you know about the Breakforth Journeys podcast and a reason for creating it, I'll finish this little episode with some background on Hans, Elsa, and myself. Hans Wibrot is a pastor in Sweden who ministers throughout the world. He has a degree in theology from Sweden with further studies in Jerusalem with a renowned Hebrew scholar, Göran Larsson. Hans has authored many books and articles and thousands of recordings around there. He has spoken in the European Parliament in Brussels and Strasbourg, as well as the Swedish Parliament in Stockholm. Most of all, he has a heart for ministry and he loves people. And I'm Arlen Salty. Elsa and I founded a ministry called Breakforth Ministries that grew to host the largest event of its kind in North America, with over 15,000 in attendance and 150 classes each and every year. We've also promoted over 10,000 events across North America and in other parts of the world. While we've received a number of national awards, the only acknowledgement that matters is the fact that we are loved by a gracious God. And another one of our greatest joys is being married to each other and being madly in love after all these years. I know that sounds a little sappy, but it's true. We are truly, truly blessed. So why would we leave the comfort of our home in Canada to head overseas to lead people to the lands of the Bible? Well, frankly, if we're going to be honest, we resisted for a long time. Because of the tens of thousands of people we're in contact with, we were approached by a whole lot of agencies to lead people on Holy Land tours. But it never felt right. When we looked at the tour proposals, they looked so touristy and so low on spiritual impact. You go to a place, you check it off your box. You go to another place, you check it off your box. Maybe a scripture's read, and you're on to the next place. We really didn't want to give our time up for these opportunities. And honestly, we've been on so many planes over the decades, we really didn't need to jump on anymore. But then it happened. We connected with Hans, and together a vision was birthed to lead tours like no other. Of course, we'd have amazing fellowship, tons of laughs, amazing sights, and amazing food. But these tours would be rich in spiritual depth with solid and passionate teaching, unique and heartfelt worship experiences, and times for deep, meaningful personal ministry and prayer. After our first sold-out tour a number of years ago, we saw the spiritual impact that was taking place in people's lives. And we knew this had to continue, and so it has for years. Now, I know that this podcast is no true substitute for joining us on one of our tours. But perhaps it'll give you a taste of the spiritual blessing that takes place in so many hearts and lives. We truly, and I mean it, we truly want to be a blessing to you. And in turn, we pray that you'll go out and be a blessing to others. So thank you. I mean, we really mean that. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us on the Breakforth Journeys podcast. Hans, Elsa, and I truly pray that one or hopefully all of the podcasts we share will inspire you in your faith. Now, if you believe that this will be a blessing to you and to others, would you do us a very kind step of support? We'd really appreciate it. Would you please click the subscribe button in iTunes? And we would also be ever so grateful if you'd also leave a 5-star rating. That really helps us to rise in iTunes and other podcast services so that more people hear about us. More people are blessed by the free podcast. And it'll be because you took just a few seconds to help take us there. We'd so much appreciate it. You are absolutely going to love the next episode with Hans as we go right to our very first session after we've landed in Tel Aviv. This is where we're going to be kicking off one of our tours in Israel. In fact, that episode is actually available right now. You may want to bop over to that episode right now. You're going to love it. So, until next episode, may your spiritual life be filled with thrilling and godly adventures. Hans, Elsa, and I pray that you experience spiritual journeys of a lifetime.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Breakforth Journeys podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss our next inspiring episode as we take you to another place in the lands of the Bible. For more information on this show, including links, beautiful photos of the Holy Land, and to learn more about our upcoming trips, head over to breakforthjourneys.com.